Welcome back to 08 family. Second day in a row. We are live here for you. Today we are talking about QB rankings, who you need to draft, who should avoid, who your top guys are, who the bottom guys are, and everything in between. And we're going to do it right now. Buckle up and let's roll. Justin, how are we doing?
Good. Empty house. Wife is gone at family reunion. I have a golf tournament to play on Tuesday, so she left me here. So
right on. Well, it's a lovely Sunday evening where I'm at, and just getting ready to get the week started on Monday. So lots to talk about today, though, that's for sure. Let's get into a little bit of news. I know there's not a lot, but there's a little bit.
What's going on?
So I think the first thing is Jake Ferguson, Matt's guy, gets paid, gets his money. Guy's quite a stir at Cowboys camp this morning because people are like, why are they paying Jake Ferguson before they're paying Micah? A little confusing, but again, another tight end gets paid. Good for him. Terry's doing a hold in, so he's at camp, which is a good sign that he is there. They put out Travis Hunter snap count today. He's played about 11 more plays on defense than offense. I'm not stressed about it yet, but just be aware that he is playing both ways at a pretty high level. So a couple more things. Rattler is getting reps with the ones with the Saints. Kyle Pitts season, man, he just waiting to hurt you again. So be ready for that. He predicted his season would have 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. So that's what he said on a podcast the other day. Keon Coleman, I think a guy that we were really high on last year. Maybe we were a year early. Getting his name mentioned a lot at Bills camp, which is great. Rashad Smith, I think Matt has talked a little bit about him with the Chiefs. Got a lot of red zone work and a lot of wide receiver looks with the Chiefs. Cam Scatteraboo showing off some receiving catches, all that stuff. And then Take Bigsby having a really good camp. Ricky Pearsall activated off the pup, which is awesome. There is a rumor that Jawan Jennings is or has in the process of signing a new 2-year deal to stay in San Francisco. So I follow this guy on Twitter. I just want to give him a big shout out. Sean Mitchell. He does a really good piece after each day of training camp. He does a really good job of just notifying all these big things that are happening, fantasy relevant stuff. So big shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out. Lots of news there. I just as a side note with Micah, I guess yesterday, I did read that the fans were shouting, "Pay Micah, pay Micah." I believe he's looking for somewhere in the 200 million range of that contract. So we'll see what the world of Jerry does if he's going to try to pay that. So more to come on that. Doesn't impact too much in fantasy unless you're at IDP or defense. So
correct.
Big show today. We're talking quarterback rankings, and you know what? We don't at this show. We don't go chalk. We don't look at other rankings, go yep, and follow it. We go with what we see, what we're comfortable with. Again, trying to help you guys win your leagues for sure. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, lock in, and let's get into this draft. We're going a little retro here with this intro. Little 1990s action there. That's what it looked like to me.
Nice.
So right on. Let's jump right into the rankings. Let me pull this up here a little bit so you'll see our grid. And we're just going to start off with the very first setup here. And here's our first 4 guys. And I just talked about not being chalk, and we're dang near chalk on this.
hard not to be with these first 4.
Yeah,
hard not to be.
Yeah, and let me talk about this real quick. You know, I really think any one of these 4 can be number 1. If you look at other rankings out there, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, 1, 2, 1A, 1B, if you want to look at it. I really think Jaden Daniels could be the number 1 quarterback this year. I'm excited for him. And like Justin said with Cincinnati, they are going to be throwing up a lot of points because that defense isn't that great, even though they spent a ton of draft picks trying to improve it. So you'll notice that I put the round they're being drafted in where you have to get them at if you want them. Good value on all of them. For me, out of these top 4, I really like Jaden Daniels in the 3rd. He's got that running ability with it, and I'm super excited about him with potential of being number 1. Anything to add, Justin?
The biggest thing for me, I guess, when it comes to quarterbacks and drafting them in the top 3 rounds, I'm not a big proponent or a big pusher of that. I just feel like there's a lot better value. There's a lot of good quarterbacks, like you guys saw in our mock draft last night. I tend to wait on quarterback. I think there is probably 8 to 12 guys that I'm pretty comfortable with, and 12 is usually the most people I play with in a league, except for that Guillotine league that I played in last year with. But if you're in a smaller league, like an 8-man league or a 4-man league, whatever it is, those garage leagues, like you have to get guys that have superpowers, and these guys have superpowers. So draft these guys a little higher. The smaller the league is, the more you should target those onesies positions like quarterback and tight end. So just be aware of that. Again, I won't have a ton of shares of any of these guys on any of my redraft leagues. Dynasty-wise, I have Joe Burrow and Josh Allen in one league on a super flex, which is super fun to have because they're just both really good.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, Justin mentioned this last night. If you're drafting one of these guys in the first round or in these early rounds, you really don't have to draft another quarterback later. Fill those other roster spots. So just understand that. If you tend on waiting later, you might have to draft a couple. So let's get into the 5 through 8. Justin, I'm going to turn this one over to you.
So Jalen Hurts, I think, is one that is a little polarizing. I think he is one that is usually above Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has a superpower that I don't think a lot of people in this league have, is he throws 35 touchdowns pretty easily. Like, he's very good at that. He always has been. He has a really good wide receiver unit. He will get garbage time, which is something that is a cheat code in fantasy football. Their defense is atrocious. Jalen, on the other hand, defense is very good. They will run the ball. It feels like they will get out of games, make games quick because they are beating teams. They have a little bit tougher strength of schedule, so they should pass the ball a little bit more. His weapons are still super great. He's not going to throw for a lot of yards. He's going to throw for maybe 20 touchdowns. That's usually where his baseline is. The cheat code for him is he's gonna score double-digit touchdowns on the ground. That's always his cheat code. It did not matter with Saquon. He still had 14 touchdowns. He still had 630 yards. Again, he is a cheat code when it comes to running. I think me and Matt have been high on Kyler. He's a very good fantasy quarterback. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to talk a little bit about Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to jump to Patrick Mahomes right now because I can certainly see viewers go, wait, 8? You have Mahomes at 8? Are you serious at 8? Why is he not a top 5 guy? Some of it has to do with rankings. I thought he would be a certain steal going in the 5th round. Now I'm like, with the suspension of his wide receivers, some new guys kind of trying to get some reps. We're not sure what Kelsey's going to be, although looks like he's physically able. I just like these other guys over Mahomes right now. Could that change later? Maybe, but I really like Kyler and Bo over Patrick Mahomes this year for that reason of the suspension. He's had a couple of down years, and we've kind of like, so I think it's okay to kick him down to number 8 in that 5th round. I'm probably passing on him in most leagues. But we've got him at 8 because he's still a good quarterback. Do want to talk about Bo Nix. We told you last year we loved him with Sean Payton, and now we have him at 7. Justin, your thoughts on Bo Nix, that you can get him in the 7th round, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so again, I think the best value out of these 4 guys, not necessarily a tier break. I think our tier breaks value 1 through 5 is a tier for us. Then this second tier goes a little bit longer. Bo Nix, awesome. Great quarterback. Like, he's going to put up his numbers through for 3,700 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He ran for 430 yards, which I think was a really underrated part. The biggest thing with Bo Nix, and it's almost the inverse of what Joe Burrow is, that defense will probably be the best defense in the NFL, and they will need to score maybe 10 to 14 points to win games. that's going to have a significant impact on his ceiling, I think, for this year. They brought in more running game with J.K. Dobbins, with R.J. Harvey. Does that mean they're going to turn a little bit to that? I think Sean Payton does like to run the ball. I think that is an underrated value of his. So I just think the talent is all there. All that stuff is there. They just don't need to have a great offense. That's the thing. It's kind of like what the Chiefs have done after they let go of Tyreek Hill. They brought in, they started investing in that defensive side. They just don't need to score points. That's the biggest thing. And to kind of counter Matt's point on Patrick Mahomes, I think I'm getting a little bit higher on him. The kid out of Ohio State, Josh Simmons, has been balling out at camp. He's a left tackle. He tore his patellar tendon pretty early in Ohio State's season. I think it's like game 2 or game 4. And they're comparing him to Trent Williams right now. He's a freak. So they might have some bookend tackles this year. I feel like that's been a problem the past couple of years. This last year was Patrick's first time not being a top 10 quarterback. So he's quarterback 11.5 PPR. He just didn't throw a lot of touchdowns. He hasn't got back to that 41 mark, 37, 38 mark, 50 mark that he usually gets to. So just one thing to look out for in camp, as these rankings are still fluid.
Yeah. Also keep an eye on Jalen Royals. Love that kid out of Utah State with Kansas City. So moving on, 9 through 12.
Here we go.
Here we go. So this is where we get a little bit different than what the regular consensus is. And the first one is Dak Prescott. If we look at Dak Prescott and some of the other consensus, right, expert consensus, he is QB 13. We have him at 9. And Justin, he is one of your guys. Note the little trophy. Those are what we consider potential league winners. Justin, why don't you go ahead and you got Dak Prescott here.
Yeah, Matt already mentioned the statistic that I'm kind of going to lean on. Every other year, he's a top 5, top 8 guy, and you get him in the 8th round. I just think it's a huge bargain. Him and Kyler, I'm pretty happy with. Either one of those guys. He's got George Pickens. They paid Ferguson. CeeDee Lamb is that dude still. The O-line scares me a little bit. I think they're going to be not in a lot of games. I think they're going to be coming from behind a little bit with that defense being a little bit suspect. So I think they're going to chuck the ball around. I think Dak's going to have a good year. He looks good coming back from his ankle, I believe it was. I can't remember. His injury, he looks good. He looks good out there, balling out. I'm super excited to watch him this year.
Yep, agreed. Moving on to Baker Mayfield. If you've listened to us talk, we do have him at 10. He did finish. Well, let me back up a little bit. He is currently QB 7 in the other consensuses, and last year he finished as QB 5. We have him regressing a little bit, QB 10. Justin, you want to talk about why we believe have him to regress a little bit?
Yeah, the 41 touchdowns is a huge outlier. I love Baker. I think he's probably a top 6 quarterback in the league, just strictly quarterback play, not fantasy relevant, not putting fantasy into it. I don't think he is Joe Burrow. I love the Emeka Buka pick. I love Mike Evans. I love all that stuff. I love Bucky Irving. I don't love Bucky Irving, but he's a good running back. Again, they play really good defense. I just don't think 41 touchdowns is a repeat thing. Maybe he shuts me up and does it again. That's hard. This was his first time in the top 5 as a quarterback. He finished as quarterback 4. Before that, he was quarterback 10, which is still a good year. I think realistically, he should finish anywhere from 8 to 12. I still think he's a quarterback 1. I just think number 10 is a good sweet spot. I think he finishes anywhere from 8 to 12.
Yep. Moving on to our number 11 guy, and we're both high on this guy. And I'm gonna start off here. Drake May is currently, I believe, in expert consensus 18. We have him as 11, and we really, really like him, obviously, and we believe he can be a league winner. In my mind, he is this year's Bo Nix. They have 2 good wide receivers. They have a better offensive line. They have a better running back. They have a better coach. This makes a ton of sense to me. He's going to go from finishing, I think, QB 25 last year, QB 22 to a top 12, top 11 a quarterback. I really like Drake May. And Justin, he's also your Golden Cup here award winner. as well.
Yeah, he didn't play 5 games, so he still finished as a top 23 quarterback, which I think is pretty impressive. I think the biggest thing that people don't understand is how athletic this kid is. All his brothers played basketball at the University of North Carolina. Like that's very hard to do in today's world. He is freaky, 6'4", 225. He slings the ball around. He threw for 2,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I think he's very close to Herbert. I think he's between Herbert and Josh Allen, where whichever way he's going to go to will be very interesting. He's that good of an athlete. He's that big of a dude. So I think he's going to be really good. Josh McDaniels, I think, is a godsend. I think Travion Henderson will get him a lot of hit and yardage. I think Kyle Williams will as well. Stephon Diggs, Will Campbell, their 4th overall pick. They tried to give Drake May a lot of support, which I do like. I think that was really smart on their part.
Yeah, and you can get him in the 11th round currently. I think his stock's going to go up a little bit, but that is a steal. And kind of what Justin did yesterday in his strategy, wait on your quarterback and then go. So if you miss out on those top 5 guys, here you go. Here's your opportunity again. To me, the next Bo Nix. Michael Penix is my guy, and we've got him at 12. Top 5 again. He only played the last 4 or 5 games, and already in camp he looks fantastic. He is throwing the ball around. He's getting it to London with I think I saw today Ray McLeod had a big catch. I really, really, really like Michael Penix. I know I'm swinging for the fences, but there's nowhere to go but up from him for this quarterback. He's just a talented quarterback, big arm. Right now his consensus is ranked 23 overall. I think you can wait on him, get him in the 13th round, and he could be a league winner for you. That offense for Atlanta is just look what he has around him. It should be high scoring. He should have started last year, to be honest, instead of Cousins. Really like Penix, so good call for us, I believe. You can get him in the 13th round, like I said. Just anything to add for your guy in Penix?
This was Matt's. I just want to let you guys. This was not me ranking him this high. I did not.
No, this is all me. This is me.
I did not have him in my top 15. I think Matt had him. Let's see. I'll go to our rankings real quick. Matt had him at 10. I didn't even have him ranked. So, again, I definitely want to keep my enthusiasm low. I get all the cut ups on Twitter of his passing stuff. He's just really pushing the ball down the field, which you love to see. I think why Matt is so high on Penix is why he's so high on Drake London. If you guys just go back, just watch those 3 games, he had it's a 3-game sample, but his big time throw rate was like number 1 in the league based on per game. He was ripping that ball. Big time throws are just high pressure situations, good ball in the right place for the wide receiver. Like, that's what you're looking for. He's very good at that. So if he finishes a top 12 quarterback, I would be pretty happy.
Yep. Agreed. Moving on to our next group here, 13 through 16. And certainly people are already going, wait a minute, man, you're missing out on guys that should be in this range here. What's going on? And CJ Stroud is one of your guys. I'm not as high on CJ. You got to spend 11th rounder to get him. I worry about that offense. I told you yesterday I'm kind of steering away from that entire offense. However, Justin, you're high on him for 13. He's currently 17 and he finished 18 last year.
Correct. I think they really doubled up on CJ Stroud, getting Higgins, getting him Noel, going to get Chubb. The mix and stuff is a little scary. I think the biggest, it's either the glass is half full or half empty. If they would have just trotted up that same old line, I probably would have been a little bit more concerned, but they did try to go and make some different things, have some different additions, which I do like. Again, I don't know if it's going to be good, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll sling the ball around. I don't know if they'll rely heavily, again, on the run game with Kubiak out, then bringing a new coordinator. They did replace Tunsil with Cam Robinson. They bring in Laken Tomlinson. So they replaced that whole left side. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. I still think he has a ton of weapons. Like, let's not forget what he was his rookie year. He still had 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, and he finished as a quarterback 11 as a rookie. So again, just a little bit of sophomore slump. Hopefully he brings it back, has Nico back, okay, for a full time. So I'm still pretty high on CJ Stroud.
And that's fair. 14 is Love, which I think this is a pretty good spot for Love in general. He finished as QB 16. We have him at 14. He did get a new weapon in Golden. Again, we're just not sure yet with what this wide receiver group's going to do. Love was a little bit off. We're still waiting for him to make that next leap of his career, but this is a good spot. And again, you can get him in the 11th round. 15 is Ward. I am a big fan of Ward, and everybody's like, what are we talking about? Let me pull him up real fast where he is being taken. 24th is the quarterback, and I have him at 15. I should say we have him at 15. I think this kid's gonna ball out. To me, he could be Jaden Daniels 2.0. I think Justin was like, no, why do you like him so high? Number one, he's super talented. Super, super talented. I like the running backs. I like the running back with Pollard, the seasoned vet right back there, right? Then you have Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Van Jefferson, some very good wide receivers, and then they bring in his college teammate, Dyke. So I'm like, all right, cool. I like what they're going to do with this offense. There were just some missing pieces. He will carry this team, and I'm super excited. He could. Again, this is a 14th round pick. You're also going to pick another quarterback, right? So maybe you get a Drake May and a Charlie Ward and get a Ward, and there you go. So does that make sense? You get Cameron, and you're like, all right, I've got a very good shot of one of those two guys hitting. So I'm big fan of Ward. Moving on, 16, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert finished. We've talked. I mean, he's 15th overall. He's right around where we have him. He finished 13th last year. He did get another weapon this year. Justin, talk to us a little bit more about Justin Herbert in this offense.
I just think he is going to be for the rest of his career. I think I tried to make him something that he's not. I really wanted him to be Josh Allen, especially his first 2 years where he finished as quarterback 9, quarterback 2. He just threw the ball a lot, and I just don't think that's what Harbaugh and Roman want. I think they just really want a hard-nosed football team. They drafted Amari Hampton. They brought in Najee Harris. I just think he's gonna be anywhere from 10 to 16. I don't think he's gonna win you a league ever. I think he's gonna be pretty steady Eddie. He threw for 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns. The low turnovers is great. I wish he ran the ball a little bit more. Only had 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. But again, I think he's always going to be pretty steady Eddie when it comes to quarterback play. I don't think he's ever going to give you a wow, give you huge weeks. I think he's going to be very much 15, 16 points a game. So,
yep. I'm really hopeful he can crack the 4,000 mark and maybe get into that pushing 30 touchdowns, and that'll really boost his number value. I just don't know if Harbaugh is going to be that guy, right? That's just not how they operate. But he is a Ferrari that's got, a little governor on it that you want him to just open it up. But, that's just not the way the offense is designed. So
correct.
Let's get over to our 17 through 20. And again, I know we're going to get some flack here with 19, but we'll talk about it in a second. T-Law at 17. Again, now with, a couple of extra weapons, young guys. I think we like him in the 12th round. Maybe that's another. You get T-Law and then get Cameron Ward as a good combo at late in your draft pick. I think is a good fit. Justin, your thoughts on T-Law?
I like him. I think he was a guy that I was kind of pushing for trading before the draft, and then he got Travis Hunter. He got Liam Cohen, which Liam Cohen has done wonders for the various quarterbacks that he's got to work with. Working with LA a little bit, going to Kentucky, and then finally going with Baker, doing a really good job there. Jaguars offense should be decent, I hope. They have Travis Etienne, who can be a Bucky Irving type. I'm curious to see how Liam Cohen uses Tank Bigsby. But I love Travis Hunter. I love Brian Thomas. I love Diami Brown. All those guys are really good fits for Trevor Lawrence. He's been super up and down. Like, he was the prince that was promised. He's all this stuff. He finished as a quarterback 8 in his second year. I feel like he's just had really bad coaching. Again, he might be on the same trajectory as Justin Herbert. He might always be low end QB1, high end QB2 if you're Superflex.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I think Justin just mentioned it, but he's currently QB 22 again as the expert rankings go, and we have him at 17, so a little bit of bump. Caleb Williams is currently 14, and we have him at 18. Matt. I am so concerned with Caleb Williams, and the best way I can describe it is he's talented, but he's not, right? I think he is he's got a ton of talent. He just has to fit the system. ESPN was talking about him a little bit. He just has to learn the rhythm, almost like Goff did when he came out of college. He is a run around, home run, scramble, make something happen type of quarterback, and he hasn't figured out to a very high level of how to run this offense yet. I'm telling you, I watched film from last year, and he missed guys wide open just because of poor reads. Now, I'll give him a little bit of grace. We have him at 18, and he's going at 14, and in the 8th round is still too steep for me. I'm like, nah. I would rather wait and get like a Lawrence or a Ward or a Dak easily, Drake May. As much as I want to have Caleb Williams again, you guys know I'm a Bears fan. As much as I want him, I'm just not there yet. Caleb Williams did have a couple of top 5 finishes per week, which was really good. We're just not there yet. So hold on Caleb Williams. Please hold on him. Again, coming from a Bears fan. So at 19, Purdy, we're going to get a ton of hate mail around Purdy.
I already know that.
Yeah, Brock Purdy is currently 12th. We have him at 19. He finished as 12 last year. Justin, give me your thoughts why we are down on Purdy.
I don't think this is an indictment on Purdy by any means. The 49ers have it's a top 5 easy schedule, so they play a lot of crap teams. They play last place schedule. So I think that just means they're going to rely a lot on the run. You have a bunch of wide receivers that are out. Their O-line is about a Trent Williams fall away from being one of the worst in the league, which is scary. I think they will rely heavily on Christian McCaffrey. That's why we're so high on Christian.
Again.
You have Ricky Pearsall. Awesome. He got off PUP, but he's still working his way back. They lost Devo to the Commanders. Ayuk, I don't know if he's going to play till late. Jawad Jennings still hasn't signed that contract, but there is some hope. Then after that, I don't know. I get Kittle, all that stuff. That's wonderful. He was the quarterback 14 last year, 20 touchdowns, 12 INTs, ran the ball 66 times for 323 yards, 5 touchdowns, a little bit of an outlier touchdown-wise. He's going to be steady Eddie. He's very much Jordan Love, maybe a little bit of Cam Ward. They don't run the ball a lot. I just don't think he's going to win you a lot of weeks. I think he is, again, in that big conglomerate of high-end quarterback 2 to low-end quarterback 1.
Agreed. Well said. Bryce Young finished QB 24 last year, and I believe he is I just had him up here.
He's got to be going late.
He is. Just a second here. I just had him pressure 26. So, and we have him at 20. So we are a little bit higher than consensus. And obviously, Justin has our Golden Cup next to him, our little trophy. You can get him in the 13th round again, pretty late. Why do you like Bryce Young this year as opposed to last year?
Watching his last few games, it just seems like, oh, there's Alabama Bryce. A little bit of swag. He threw a no-look pass against us his last game. It was pretty nasty. Good concept. I don't think people realize how bad his supporting cast was last year and the year before that. Just awful. They traded the farm to the Bears. The Bears won that trade outright just by trading DJ Moore. DJ Moore was a guy. They gave up a couple firsts. I think that trade's now done as Bryce goes into his 3rd year, which is absolutely nuts. They really put him at a deficit, and he's been trying to dig himself out. I think they benched him a lot of times. It was just snip, snap, snip, snap. If you're a fan of The Office, it just felt like they're going back and forth with him. never give him a chance. And then at the very end, they let him kind of ball out. I mean, his last game was 25 for 34, 251, 3 touchdowns, 5 rushes, 24 yards. He was running the ball a little bit. I love Ted. I think he's going to be a really good alpha 1. And it gives Xavier Legette to be able to play that 2 to him. I think they should be so much better this year. They have a little bit more consistency. He goes into his 3rd year, 2nd year in the system. I think he's going to be a value. Like, if I could take him and Drake May, him and Dak, just for a little bit of upside, because I don't know what Bryce Young is yet, just because I think he could provide a little bit of juice. I think he's a really good pick this year.
Yep, certainly agree. And remember who they've got around him. I'm just going to read off some names. They got Chuba Hubbard, who did really well. They bring in Dowdle. They bring in Trevor Etienne, right? They get Tet. They had Thielen, who was his kind of go-to guy there for his first year. Legette is still waiting, but they did bring in Coker, which we liked a lot. They did draft Jimmy Horn, and we do have old man Hunter Renfrow as well. So there are some guys around him. It does. Plus Javion Sanders as well, the big tight end. So they've got some weapons around him, and they are trying to get him successful. So I agree with Justin. At 13th round, definitely some value. Here is our rounding out our top 24. And again, we're like, okay, I can see 24 there. I can already, but that's okay. Stafford, we know he's got a back injury. He is currently going 21, which is right where we have him. As long as he's healthy, he's consistent. He is a good, if you're in a super flex system, yep, or maybe a late second QB. You got to like him. Now he's got some weapons around him. Goff is a big one. We're going to catch some flack on Goff. We have him as 22. He's currently 11, and he finished QB 6 last year. Justin, whoa, hold up. There's no way he should be 22. Correct?
Yeah, the Lions had a lot of things go right for them. Goff has been really good with Ben Johnson the past couple of years. 10-7-6. He's half PPR finishes. Again, I just want to see what the Lions are. I don't know what's going to happen. He threw for 37 touchdowns. Again, career high by 5 touchdowns. A little bit of an outlier. His last career high was with the Rams in his 3rd year with 32 touchdowns. I think that was their Super Bowl year, if I'm not mistaken. Just a little bit of an outlier. Again, I just want to see what this O-line is. And I cannot understate the fact that they lost their center. So just be aware of that. I think that will have an impact.
Yep. And I will add, they just lost their offensive coordinator. Who do you think was calling all those plays for him in that offense? I am not saying, I'm going to be very clear, I'm not saying Goff is a bad quarterback. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying he is now part of a different offense. And you're going to tell me, Matt, they're bringing in somebody that will run the offense just like Ben Johnson did. And I'm like, okay, then tell me that you haven't played football before without telling me you haven't played football. It's not
that's
the
the Falcons.
I promise you.
They had Kyle Shanahan. Yes. They said Steve Sarkisian is going to run the same offense, and we dropped substantially.
Yep. So this is what I see for sure. So 8th round Goff for me. I'm staying away from Goff. Maybe in Superflex, pick him up super late, but I don't think he'll be there super late. So other opportunities. Tua is an interesting one for me. I'm really not sure what to do with him. He seems to be a little bit all over the map. Let me pull him up here. He is 20. We have him at 23. He finished at 21 last year, kind of still status quo. You got to get him in the 12th round. Justin, anything to add? I mean, it just seems to be with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I just don't trust him. He's gonna get injured. I wish he didn't, but he seems to get injured every year, and I don't want to have injuries at that position. So I'm gonna try to avoid him.
Yep. Justin Fields is now. We're going to get a little flack on this one too. Everybody's pretty high on Justin Fields. He is currently going as QB 10. We have him at 24. Now, I don't necessarily like him this low, but we do this as a team, and he is a risk quarterback. He has always been that way. High reward, high risk. If he gets injured, Garrett Wilson's value will take a hit. Easy. They are tied at the hip. You have to understand. So high risk, high reward. If you want to roll the dice in the 9th round to pick him up, he very well could be a top 10 quarterback. but he also could be a top 24 quarterback. You have to understand there. High risk, high reward with him. He could ball out. He did have the injury with the toe already, and I will almost guarantee you, which means nothing, that he will get injured this season. That's just how he is. He was with the Bears. That's how it rolled. So, but I like him a lot. He is a very good quarterback, but just understand high risk, high reward. Anything to add to that, Justin?
Yeah, he's a fantasy quarterback with absolutely no ties to this team after this year. So, like, if they feel like they're not doing anything, like they could start, is it the Tyrod Taylor? They could start the boy from Nebraska, Adrian Martinez. Like, they have no ties to him at all. They can bench him whenever they want. With the Bears, when he did have that magical season where they probably still only won 5 games and he finished as the quarterback 7, the reason he was the quarterback 7 is because he ran for 1,100 yards. If you run the ball that much, he ran the ball 160 times, you are much more susceptible to getting hurt. That's just how it works.
Yep. How it rolls, my friends. Moving on to the bottom end here. And again, we're just going to kind of roll through it. JJ McCarthy. Now, you'll notice right out of the gate, we're unsure what JJ McCarthy is. Everybody's unsure what JJ McCarthy is. He is ranked 25 in our deal. However, he could be a league winner. It's very, very possible. I am a JJ McCarthy fan. I think the kid is a tremendous leader. I think he's a tremendous winner. He unfortunately had the injury, but I think he's every bit, if not better, than Sam Darnold, right? So could he fit that system? I do. Do I think he'll finish higher than 25? I do. But as of right now, I like him in this spot. Anything to add, Justin?
Yeah, I think most of it is just camp stuff that we've heard, that he has been a little not consistent throwing interceptions. That could be because the Vikings defense is very, very good. Could be because he's young. Could be because he's not good at football. We'll see. I have a lot of faith in Kevin O'Connell. Is probably one of the top 5 best play callers in all of football. And Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan are all up there for me. Again, if JJ McCarthy is average in this offense, he's not a good quarterback. That's the
Correct.
biggest thing. If he has to be awesome. Like, look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold threw for 35 touchdowns in this offense. Josh Dobbs, Kirk Cousins. Like, Kevin O'Connell has won with really bad quarterbacks. Not saying Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. He made Kirk Cousins $140 million, whatever we signed him for. Just be aware of that. So if he's not great, that's going to be a little concerning. So it's either like he's got to be like a top 10, top 12 quarterback, kind of like where we have Penix. And if he's not, it's going to be concerning for me.
Yep. Moving on to Joe Flacco. Seems to be the QB1 for the Browns. We just don't know what's going to happen with all those QBs, but he seems to be the starter at this point. If he's playing, that offense isn't bad, right? And he could be decent. Geno Smith moving from Seattle to Vegas. Thoughts on Geno, Justin?
Pete Carroll wants to run the ball. I think they're going to try to rely on Genty a little bit. But I do like Geno a lot better in this offense than what they had. So I like Jacoby. Brock Bowers should all get a bump with him.
Yep, for sure. And I don't forget about the 2 rookies that they got. If you don't know about them, go back and watch our breakdown of the Raiders. So Russell Wilson, I think, is just going to sling the ball. I think he's just going to find one guy and throw it up, let him go get it. But not necessarily a fan of him. Maybe Dart gets an opportunity. Who knows? It's hard to say.
Yep.
Sam Darnold. Justin, your thoughts with Sam?
I just don't. This guy should be last for me, but I hate the Saints, so we put Tyler Shuck at the bottom. I think this Seattle offense is going to run the crap out of the ball. Whether that's Ken Walker, whether that's Zach Charbonnet. I think they're going to try to win games with very, very good defense in a run game. Try to shorten the other team's offense with as many drives as they can. Try to stay on offense a little bit longer. Let their defense try and ball out. I think that hurts JSN a little bit. Hurts Eric Arroyo a little bit. But I don't see it with Sam Darnold. His last couple of games really left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yep. Don't forget about Milton. Love Milton. I am a big fan of Milton. I was when they drafted him, so love Milton. He could take over that starting job, if not get some opportunity, but love Milton. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think we need to really talk much about. They're going to run the ball, even though they have Metcalf. It's going to be a running game, and then there's going to be some butting of the heads. In that offense, Aaron Rodgers, wants to do what he wants to do, and he'll butt heads with the OC, and it'll be a one and done.
Yep.
And then 31-32, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. Justin and I both agree that AR will get at least the initial try again, and then Daniel Jones, that's going to be flip-flop in my mind probably through the whole season.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure it out. And then Tyler Shook and Spencer Rattler, and I believe Spencer Rattler was getting the ones, working with the ones recently. So
Correct. Quite the fall for Anthony Richardson. I was looking back at our rankings last year and just see where Anthony Richardson was ranked. Matt had him 2, but Chance had him at 3, and I had him at 6. So just a really far.
We don't hit them all.
Fall. Yeah, just a really far fall from grace. The way social media is posting about Anthony Richardson makes me think the Colts want to give him one more shot. I think Daniel Jones is probably better from a pass catching situation, but they invested a top 5 pick in Anthony Richardson, so you kind of have to live and die by that pick a little bit. So just something to keep an eye out of. Tyler Shook, Spencer Rattler. I don't think it really matters for that Saints team. I said the Saints are going to be the worst team in the NFL. They just lost their starting safety in Tyrann Mathieu. He said, "I'm going to retire." So just another hit to them. You might get some garbage time with Chris Olave. I think he might be the only guy. Alvin Kamara, who I think they should trade and give Keandre Miller, the guy that I will not give up on at a TCU. I think he's in his 3rd year. I think they should really give him some run and see what he's about. Try to get off Alvin Kamara. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think there should be some trade. I would actually trade both of those for draft picks or other players. You are in a complete rebuild with the Saints for sure. So, man, what do you think? Actually, Bob's got a comment here. Bob, thanks for throwing out your comment. We love it. JJ will throw for 4,300, 33 TDs, 11 INTs. You ranked him too low. Look, I hope so. I hope he does it. I certainly believe he can do that. I'm just not sure yet. I don't know, but I am not. I'm not opposed to that. Where he can throw around that. Maybe not quite that high, but I'm hopeful. Remember, I'm a Michigan fan too. I love JJ McCarthy. So, but we'll see how it doesn't always translate in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's a great call out though, Bob. We love it.
I think the biggest thing, like with the Vikings team, great defense, all that stuff, but they will go as the quarterback goes. Again, like I said, if JJ is average, that means he's bad. Like the quarterbacks, Matt, can you go back to the first slide real quick? The quarterbacks from 2 years ago going into their 2nd year, like look at it. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May, Penix, Caleb Williams, and JJ. Like all those guys could realistically be top 12 next year. And that is nuts to me. Like I think the crazy thing is Caleb Williams might be the worst out of all of them, which is very scary. JJ is a very much unknown. We didn't get to see anything from him. I think the Vikings that NFC North show was really hard to dictate because I don't know who's going to be good. Realistically, I want the Bears to be good because that's good for fantasy. Packers, I just feel like the middle of the road team. If JJ is good, if he throws for that 33 touchdowns, 11 INTs, the Vikings are going to be a problem in the NFC. That's the thing. If he's that dude, then he's that dude. So.
And Bob, if he does that, I want you to come back on the show and I want you to say, I told you, right? This is your receipt. I want you to say, I told you he was going to do it. So appreciate you the comment. Let's kind of get back to here again. I think we kind of got it called out. What are your guys' thoughts? You guys agree, disagree with our rankings? Man, leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on our posts here. But we just love talking ball. Bob says, okay, I love it. So, man, we did good. We kind of a quick show with the rankings.
Yep.
Remember what we said yesterday when you are drafting. Be mindful of where your ADPs are, who's reaching for who, right? Don't overreach for somebody if you don't have to. You want to get best value as much as possible. There is times to reach and there's times not to reach. And we have all been leagues where somebody's got a man crush on somebody and they reach like 2 rounds ahead and you're like, what are you doing? Right? Well, that's on them. So be fluid in your drafts for sure. Justin, anything to add before we sign out for the evening?
Yeah, those onesie positions for quarterbacks, like you have to find guys with superpowers. That's Josh Allen, Lamar, Jalen running the ball. Well, that's Joe Burrow throwing for 35 touchdowns, or just high upside guys like a Drake May, like a JJ. Like you have to take shots on those guys that do have that boom bust potential. I just am very against like going against the very much traditional quarterbacks such as Tua, such as Goff, such as Purdy, such as Stafford. They don't get me excited about my team. And realistically, I want to be excited about my fantasy football team. So I don't draft those guys traditionally. I want guys that run the ball or throw for a lot of yards or, throw a lot of touchdowns. That's what I'm looking for. I don't really want steady Eddie. I want boom or bust. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody, we are out of here. We'll be back maybe earlier this week or sometime during this week. We're going to give you a tight end. We have tight ends coming up, running backs coming up, wide receivers. We got your sleepers, boom bust, right? All that stuff coming in. So be mindful. Justin is going to post some shorts, so make sure you're watching those. But we're excited. Football season is almost here. We are this close. It is right around the corner. All right, everybody, and good to see you this time. And so from this time until next time, we'll see you next time. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Later.